Usually when we first learn about self-remembering, awareness, trying to be present, and then trying not to be so identified, what usually happens is we sort of end up holding our breath. It's as though, here I am, I'm doing what I ordinarily do. I start to realize I'm identified, but I want to be present. And so I kind of try to flex my muscles, my psychological muscles, and try to be present. And it's almost as though it feels like you're kind of holding your breath. We just have to keep doing what we're doing and doing it well, and just keep seeing that you find that you had been identified. And there's nothing wrong with this. This is not bad. This is just kind of, you want to see it. And in actuality, it's not that we make a decision to not be identified and then we suddenly will ourselves to not be identified anymore. It doesn't work that way. It's too powerful of a force, of an agent, of a law operating in us. The way it works is the more you see it, by virtue of seeing it, it will begin to diminish. It's not a decision you make, although it can be looked at that way. You can get so tired of being identified, you can look for alternatives, and you can think, well, I just don't want to be identified anymore so much, so often, to such a degree, and I'm going to just try to be here. And you learn to feel it. It's like a barometer in yourself. You feel the identification starting to surge in you, and something just doesn't want to go along with that as much. It is painful, it is difficult to see. We're identified almost all the time in the beginning. We didn't realize it. But don't fret about it. Just keep seeing. And the moment you see it, just try to familiarize yourself with that taste of seeing it. Something is seeing it. See, in fact, you see that you are identified. Something else is seeing that. That is the awareness part. The mind will try to get in the middle, and you'll see that you're identified, and it will try to get in the middle and kind of operate like the gap stop, and that's where it tries to hold its breath. That's a psychological reflex or an instinctive reflex. And that's not presence. That's not awareness, which is at a slightly farther remove. So just keep noticing. Do your job well. Another side of this is we're not practicing for tomorrow. This is now. We're living life now. You want to do what you're doing for the sake of doing it while you're doing it, for being there while you're doing it. Just do it to be doing it, not to get it finished, not to get it done, but just to be doing it. Just be here doing it, and this will bring presence naturally. And you'll begin to get so familiar with the feeling of identification, like a charge through your centers, and you will gradually not want that. You will gradually, intuitively see that you don't need to be identified. You can do everything you're doing, and you can even do things quickly sometimes when they need to be done quickly, but you won't be psychologically rushed, and you won't feel a psychological urgency. And that's what identification does. That's the effect it produces. Those are two of the main things. We tend to rush, and then we feel this urgency. And that can be in the form of an anxiety, or trying to fulfill an expectation, or being afraid. Do your job. Enjoy doing your job. Do it as well as you can. Don't identify with trying not to be identified. Just notice when you are becoming more identified, or notice when you have been identifying, and just relax. Don't tense up, because being present and doing your job are not mutually exclusive. The one happens inside the other. The awareness is the arena in which all of this is taking place. It's just that our awareness is usually identified with what is taking place, and it loses recognition of itself as the arena. But they're not mutually exclusive, and you don't have to give up one to have the other. They can both exist, and you can do all the things you need to do and even enjoy it. And parts of you may not enjoy it also. That's a reality. at the same time you can be present in a simple way. And that's why it is also nice just to try to keep this simple.